Okay, now let's implement two of the more difficult parts of the user interface. So we're going to implement these action buttons and hide them when they don't apply. And then we're also going to implement this account list fragment. So I've gone ahead and found a couple of icons that I like. So I'm going to save this one in my drawable folder as trashcan.png. And I'll do the same thing with this one as plus.png. And then I'm going to go to my apps menu and I'm going to add a couple of menu items. So the first item is going to have ID, and we'll call this action add, and it's going to have a title, add account, and I'll add this as a string resource. And then show as action if room, and this should be an app. And then we'll set the icon to our plus drawable. And then we'll add another one, ID is going to be action delete. Title is delete account. Show as action if room. And then that's app again. And then we'll add the icon, drawable, trash can. So now we have two buttons. Let's go ahead and take a look at how they look on the screen. Oh, I forgot to make this a string resource. Let me go ahead and see how they look, and then I'll fix that. Okay, so those look okay. And let me go ahead and make this a string resource now. Alt plus enter, extract string resource, delete account. Alright, so now I have the two buttons showing up. I want to hide them when the app starts, and then I want to show the plus sign whenever the user is logged in. So the buttons get created and added right here in onCreate Options menu, and it passes in this menu, and it inflates the menu main XML, which causes those items to get added to the menu. And so here I want to go ahead and grab those two action items. And I'm going to save them in member variables. So private menu item and add item, private menu item and delete item. And right here I'm going to set an add item equal to menu.findItem r.id.actionAdd, and our delete item will be menu.findItem r.id.actionDelete. Okay, so now I've found them. I want to go ahead and hide them here, and I'm going to create two helper functions for that. So public void hide menu item, and it's going to take a menu item, and to hide one it's pretty easy. You just say item.setVisible false, and then later if you want to show them, you just call item.setVisibleTrue. Okay. So here we're hiding both of them, and then when the user logs in, which happens right here. If they're valid, then we're going to go ahead and show the item. So show menu item, add item. I'm still going to leave the trash can invisible. And then I'm also going to change this valid password. So right now it's always returning true. I'm going to make it return true if the password is equal to swordfish. Okay, so if they type swordfish, they'll get logged in. If they type anything else, login will fail. Oh, I have to actually call my hide menu item here. Hide menu item and add item, and hide menu item and delete item. Okay, so there's no buttons, and if I log in and type swordfish, I get logged in and the plus sign appears, and then restart password manager, so they're both hidden. And if I type anything but swordfish, I fail, I don't get the plus. So that looks pretty good. Okay, now let's get started on the account list. And I'm going to create a new fragment list, and set this to account item. And this will be our account item fragment. We'll exclude both of those things. And we'll get rid of the dummy account. Okay. Just let it catch up a little bit. So do our array adapter, create a new Java class for account item, and we'll have two strings. We'll have an account name and a password. Have a constructor. We'll initialize name, and password, the password. We need an accessor. Which returns the name, and an accessor returns the password, and a toString method. Which just returns the name. Okay, so now that we have an account item, we can create an adapter and put that in a private variable. An array adapter of account items. And then in our onCreate method, we'll initialize that. this whole thing into here. And let me reformat it a little bit. Get rid of the third argument, the defaults. And then this is going to be an array of account items. And I'm going to change this to the activated one. Alright, so now we have an array adapter and our list is initialized. Let's add some starter elements to it just so we have something to test. Okay, so those are some items that we can use. And our listener is going to pass back an account item. So we'll return the item at position. And then we have to change the function signature to account item here, like so. And then we also have to get rid of this extra line since we don't have a dummy class anymore. And that should be everything for this list adapter here. So when the user logs in, got a little delay here. Okay, so when the user logs in, we want to replace the fragment in the list fragment with the new list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my replace fragment to take the place where I'm going to include the fragment. So int resource ID, and then I'm going to go in and add r.id.content fragment to all of my existing calls. Oh, I lost my new there. Okay, and then this is going to be resource ID here. And then after I've logged in, I'm also going to replace r.id.list fragment with a new account item fragment. We haven't implemented onFragment interaction listener interface, so let's go ahead and fix that. So implements on fragment interaction listener, and then I'm going to go ahead and implement those methods. I don't want to have them do anything yet. Great, so our list shows up, and let's just go ahead and clean up a few things. So I'm going to fix my formatting a little bit. I lost some spaces there, and lost a space there. And now let's make the selected items sticky. So I'm going to go back to my account list, and in my on start, I want to set the choice mode. I don't have an on start yet, so let's implement an on start right here. And on the list view, to list view dot choice mode single, and when the user clicks on an item, we're going to set our item checked for the current position to be true. Position to be true. Oh, I forgot to call the super method again. Alright, so let's go back to our onStart and call super.onStart. Now let's try it. Great, so now our selected item is checked. And I'm just going to do one more thing before moving on to the next part. I'm going to get rid of some of this padding around here. So let me go ahead and go into my dimensions under values, and let's make the horizontal margin 2dp and the vertical margin 2dp, and we'll also make this 2dp. Let's just see how it looks. Okay, so that's a little better. So log in. Okay, and we'll rotate. Alright, that looks good. So in the next part, we'll go ahead and implement our add account and view account functionality with the trash can for delete.